Hey, welcome to the Stocks with Josh show. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today I'm going to be talking about NIO stock, but I'm going to quickly touch on Verb Technologies, which saw midday a 32% pop up. That story is not over. I'm still holding my Verb, but the run up, it wasn't on any particular news. It perhaps was a technical bounce. It has been massively in the oversold territory, or even there was a small short squeeze occurring on it. But what we need to see moving forward with Verb Technologies is that after the hype of the move settles down, we need to watch and see if it holds that 12 to 14 cent range. That would be an indicator that perhaps we are seeing a reversal or a beginning of a new trend. I did see on the level 2 data that a large buyer had come in on the stock today, which was largely why the stock moved up. Maybe that buyer knows something that's not been revealed to the market yet. We have to wait and see. The only big event ahead of us is the next earnings, and the same dynamics are in play from the last time I spoke about Verb, that we need to see them cut costs and we need to see them increase revenues dramatically, and then perhaps we'd have a Verb comeback story to keep an eye on. Today, I'm deep diving the NIO stock, but even if you're not in NIO, I want you guys to watch to the very end because in my opinion, this video is jam-packed with things to learn about in the stock market. I'm covering this stock for the people. Full disclosure, I'm not in it. I'm not short or long NIO. I have no bias whatsoever. I'm going to give you fresh technicals and some fundamentals for you guys to consider. I'm going to tackle the big questions on NIO. Will NIO recover? Is NIO stock a buy? Should I dump my NIO bags? What is a good price entry for NIO moving forward? And most important, if NIO survives, what is a future price prediction for the stock? Some people would say, help Josh, what should I do with my NIO? I'm coming with straight answers, technicals, and some personal opinion. But remember, I'm not suggesting that you guys buy, sell, or hold a stock. This is meant to be a helpful dialogue for you guys to make decisions about what you're doing with your money. If you're part of the community, thank you for already hitting that like. It's you guys that are keeping me making these videos. Go ahead and throw a heart in the comment section if you're part of our community. If you're tired of having more questions than answers, then join the Stock Josh family. You do that by hitting the subscribe and the YouTube all notifications bell to be part of this community. All right, if you're in NIO, you probably know more about the fundamentals than me. You've been tracking this for the last 2 years. But that could also be your biggest problem. You're deep in the narrative, you got caught up in the underlying story, and now you are most likely bag holding. Let's look at the technicals with a fresh set of eyes together. NIO hit $67.40 on January 11th, 2021. And all the stock pundits at that time were calling it up to $100, $200. I had friends, we were trading it, everybody was excited. Everybody said they're the next Tesla, they're the Chinese Tesla. This stock could go to $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in the days ahead. Rather, NIO entered into a classic distribution phase, followed by an unrelenting decline phase. All stocks go through it. You guys have heard me talk about it before. It starts with accumulation, then you get markup, then you get distribution, then you get decline. NIO has been a classic example of it. I get asked all the time, how do I tell which stage a stock is in? Each stage has unique characteristics to the stage. Distribution will have a wide, volatile price range. Typically moves violently. Once it's peaked, it kind of goes from a peak and a trough, and a peak and a trough. It's a wide rectangular shape. Typically moves sideways. In my opinion, NIO was in a classic distribution phase from November 9th, 2020, all the way till November 22, 2021. That lasted 378 days, basically over a year, and then it entered into a classic decline phase on November 29th, 2021. That's when it broke the $40 level. It has fallen for another 393 days, reaching a low of $8.38 this last October 2022. That is a harsh decline of 88% from its all-time highs, bringing the stock back to a historic price range around $10, kind of where the whole story began. NIO has been making lower lows for 2 years straight. So if you've been buying the dip through the whole time period, all you've known about NIO is pain and suffering. But the big question is, where is NIO going from here? Is it a dead stock? Will NIO go bankrupt? Or is it going to the moon by 2025? I want to consider both ideas with you guys. There are many reasons contributing to NIO's decline. And the number one reason I've heard a lot of people say it's been China's zero COVID policy. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think that's the case. That has just been a minor setback for NIO. If that was all that we were dealing with, then I could probably confidently say that this stock is going to take off and rocket forward from here. Many Chinese stocks are doing that right now, significantly off of their June or their October lows. You guys know I've talked about Tall Education and Alibaba. Alibaba hit $59 and today we're sitting at $89. So while NIO is $1 away from making a new 52-week low, the number one problem that NIO is dealing with is not COVID, but it's scaling its sales volume, as well as the additional pressure of Tesla falling, which damages the EV narrative altogether. NIO has a good product in my opinion. They've got good messaging as a company, but the only path to breaking even financially is to scale the volume. Tesla is the only company that's proven so far capable of doing that. I need to remind the retail traders that stocks, they only go up when companies are making money, and they make more money 3 months later from quarter to quarter. They need to make more money. That's how stocks work. The number one reason that NIO has not been able to scale to profit is because of competition. The success of the rapidly growing EV space. There are now a lot of competitors fighting for the resources needed to make the cars. And because it's technology related, they're also competing with other tech sectors for some of the same resources. Very simply put, there is a lack of raw materials. Bottom line is the path to profit is through scaling, and they're simply still not scaling fast enough to convince Wall Street that they can become profitable quickly. Why is quickly so important? Because stock goes down when earnings are stagnant or dropping. NIO's Q3 earnings missed the number one metric that Wall Street is gauging them against, which was scale of production. The expectation for Q3 was a midpoint guidance of 32,000 vehicles, and they made only 31,607 vehicles, so they missed it. There is a NIO lover out there that doesn't think that that's a big deal, but it is because of the macro environment that all stocks are up against right now. That's the global recession that's potentially ahead of us in 2023. So there is no room for barely making expectations. I've been saying only the best of the best will survive and thrive and get the institutional investment dollar. The institutional investment dollar is rolling out of second or third competitive stocks and going into the number one stocks in different categories. And I told you guys the best of class for EVs is still Tesla. They're still the number one EV company in the world. And look at their stock right now. They've been taken out to the woodshed. They're getting a market beatdown because of the same macro environment that's troubled NIO. Josh, why are you so bearish on NIO? I'm going to cover the bullish narrative for you guys on NIO in just a minute. Quick station break for the MooMoo investment app. If you guys are wanting to get better trade tools or you need to restart your investment journey at the beginning of 2023, then take advantage of MooMoo's limited time offer of their 20 free stock and a chance at their $60,000 sweepstakes. They have the lowest margin trading account for retail traders. They've got the 8 smart order types for strategic profit taking and stop losses for protecting your money. They're a registered, licensed, and insured exchange. Plus, I have a community page over there as well as a chat group on the MooMoo app called Stock Josh Family. Come check it out. All right, for the perma bull NIO lovers, what is NIO's bullish narrative? Is there a bullish narrative? I'm going to say yes, absolutely. But before I break it down to you, let's have some straight talk. Should you have held through the decline phase and bought the dip? I can't answer that for you personally, but I'll tell you that I would not have. But as the stock sits below $10 today, should you sell your bags, lock in the loss, and move on? Well, that might not be the best decision either. What you need to know is where the stock is headed from here. Now, I'm going to cover that in just a moment, but I want to review some of the bullish dynamics going on with the company. First off, Q1 of 2023 earnings is scheduled for March 23rd. Seeking Alpha analysts did an article suggesting that they might be on track to produce 42,000 units by the end of Q4 2023. That would be an astonishing 37% year-over-year growth. That's really good, especially in the macro environment that we're in. The article goes on to say that there is even the potential for them to reach 52% or even 72% year-over-year growth if some of the obstacles in the market fall off. Those obstacles being supply chain issues, which we talked about, and production scaling issues, which we talked about, as well as US-China tensions. So I want to read this article for you guys. NIO is expecting production and delivery volumes to surge in Q4, having kicked off mass production preparations for the new ET5 in Q3. The vehicle saw over 220 deliveries in the first day. CEO William Li believes that the EV startup is going to break records every month during Q4, as NIO has been making active preparations to meet this target. The article goes on to say that they're opening up sales in the EU, which will drive up their numbers through the course of 2023 and 2024. So simply put, NIO is in what I'd call an absolute critical moment. These guys can't miss a single forecast going into 2023. Q4 of 2022, they need to defy gravity. They need to have sold cars. The CEO Li also said the demand is not the constraint, but rather the supply chain production is the main constraint. So even he is saying that NIO could kill it moving forward, but there are real challenges in their path. Now, I have no reason to believe right now that NIO is facing bankruptcy. So for a lot of you, that's actually really good news. If you wanted to go long and be bullish on NIO, at the moment, as of today, you may be able to recover your funds. So could you just hold forever till all your money comes back? Well, possibly. But you need to be prepared to know how low NIO could go. So I want to look at the charts with you guys. NIO is around $10 right now. The upside resistance that I've talked with you guys about in the past is between $13 and $14. We know that it recently got rejected there, and perhaps the downside support beneath us is at the previous low of $8.38. If it retested that low and we got a bounce, we would have a nice bullish double bottom. But I want you guys to mark my words. If NIO breaks $8.38, even by a penny, it is very, very likely to fall under $6. And that would begin to be the big concern. So I want to recap with you guys. In a previous video, I told you guys that my best in-class EV plays were Tesla and the Chinese EV solution BYD. Those are what I would refer to as potential investment-worthy stocks in a growth portfolio. NIO is a solid player in the space, and it may be the best EV comeback story. However, I don't personally view it as an investment stock for me right now. I'm looking and sticking with best in class. But however, I am interested in swing trading NIO, not investing in it. If we consolidate around the $10 mark, that would be a bullish sign, and it could possibly be signaling the end of the decline phase and the beginning of a new accumulation phase for the stock. We had a nice bullish day today, and I noticed that NIO really didn't move much higher, which is kind of bearish. That's a concern, which imagines that there might be some people selling into the rally. I'm keeping my eye on NIO for a possible swing trade bounce above $8.38. That was the previous low. So that would be a buy about $8.40. You could place your stop loss below at $8. And if it didn't bounce at that level and show some increase in volume of buying, I probably wouldn't touch it moving forward because somebody knows way more than me about it and it's just going down. If we get a bounce, and these guys had a great year, despite the 2023 slowdown as well as the shortage of resources, then long-term future price predictions would be a target 1 of hitting $24 and then a target 2 of hitting $30 and then a target 3 back to $40, which it could easily achieve as early as the end of 2025 if they can prove that they can scale their business and make all of their earnings forecasts. They really can't afford to miss them. They would have to achieve that in the next 24 months. It is an uphill battle, but I'm not counting them out of the EV race just yet. Those are my thoughts and plans. I hope that helped you guys. Let me know in the comment section which EV company that you're getting behind and what your thoughts are on the EV space, or maybe you're not touching it at all. If you watched this far, stop what you're doing, hit the like for me, check and make sure that you guys are subscribed. As always, peace and blessings, my friends. See you in the chat group. Take care.